Hey. Oh, let's see. I don't know. I don't do this very often. Well, this is one of the first few times I'm doing this. How are you? I hope you can hear me. I think you can. Sorry I'm a little late. I stayed up really late last night and I was so tired, and of course I had to take care of Elizabeth, and it takes so long to take care of everything. I have 5 animals, 2 outside animals, kitties out there, and 2 dogs, 3 kitties inside, and I have a husband who is a full-time job. So 1 almost 24/7 job combined with 2 full-time jobs is a lot for one person. And I'm just trying to, put myself out there as best as I can. I hope everyone is well, and I don't even know if I have any audience right now, but that's all right. I just need to do this for myself, regardless of my audience. Anyway, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about today. I just have a few things I'd like to share with you. I've been working overnight. I was just looking at the different, I was comparing the faces of my ex-boyfriend, Dean Wayne Craig, and Bryan Kohberger. Bryan Kohberger is a disguise, okay? Because no one could have done what happened in Idaho but David Wayne Craig. No one. There is no one in existence who could have done that. I know David very well, and unfortunately I know what he is capable of, and there's nobody else who could have done it. And I had no idea he was wearing a disguise. It wasn't until police arrested him and took him into custody that I know the police chief was really nervous that I was going to be upset and think it was somebody else. I could tell by his behavior. He was really nervous when they first brought him into custody and arrested him. And then I told them, oh, so this is David's disguise. And then he acted differently publicly. This is the way I have to communicate with people in public and in government and everywhere, because I am considered top secret classified. They can't talk to me. I'm the FBI's star witness for this case, other cases, so many cases, because, as you can tell from the title of my channel, I was born, the Zodiac killer is the father on my birth certificate, the father I grew up with in my household. He put me through a lot of trauma, to say the least, and I'm here to live and tell my story. Unfortunately, he's no longer living. I was really hoping to bring him to justice. He's another person you would never, if you met, you might think he was socially awkward, but you wouldn't, maybe slightly. I don't know. I hadn't seen my father, the Zodiac killer. His name is Dennis Wayne Elliott. I hadn't seen him since 1998, so I don't know how he was at the end of his life. I just know the father I grew up with and knew up until 1998 when I lost all contact with him. I think the last time I spoke to him, it was 2009, just before the press conference that happened to me in Los Angeles. But that's a whole nother topic. I know I'm going astray. Okay, so we're here to talk about Bryan Kohberger and his true identity, which is David Wayne Craig. David is a 69-year-old man at this point. I mean, I can't even believe it. He is the real OJ, as I call him, because he was my boyfriend when I met Ron Goldman. In his absence, David was off running around Los Angeles with his partner in crime, Michael Laffman. And that gave Ron Goldman an opportunity to get to know me. He wanted to marry me, and I was always putting him off. He wanted to go out with me at least, and no, I have a boyfriend. I was so committed to David, but he was nowhere to be found. And after a while, Ron just melted my defenses and convinced me to marry him. And I didn't know I was marrying him when I did on June 11th, the eve of the murders. And that's in 1994. And the next day I woke up not understanding we were married, and I finally agreed to get engaged. But I had to call David and break up with him before I could do anything. I had to leave him a voicemail. I don't know if David still has that voicemail. It was very long, detailed, and very loving. And it affected him so much that he actually showed up to my door for the first time in months with Michael Laffman, and the rest is history. I know I'm going over this again. I've talked about it before. I just want to give everyone a background. So this is why I know it was David who did what happened in Idaho. There's no one else who could have. At that time in 1994, they were framing OJ. That was their goal. Michael and him wanted to be known for, they thought that the error of the Zodiac killer, which was their hero, whatever, and at the time they didn't know it was the father I was born to. He is my genetic father too. I have a lot of genetic fathers. It's a long story. But yeah, I mean, I didn't even remember at that point either. So we all didn't know, but it ends up, yeah. Mm-hmm. And they thought that the one mistake that the Zodiac killer made was that he didn't target celebrities. And that was their goal, to target celebrities. And they had their eye on Nicole Brown Simpson in Brentwood, and they had no idea that she was coming to my house in David's absence, and Ron's connection to her, and all this stuff that was happening at my house. I mean, it's, David picked the wrong time to be absent if he wanted to mingle with all of these people, because they were at my house. Anyway, it's just unbelievable what happened. But anyway, they had their eye on Nicole, and they were looking for the perfect opportunity. They were nature and Buddhists. Dean, I mean, that's my husband now, Dean Wayne Boyd. Yeah, we're all related. Okay. But yeah, they had their eye on Nicole in Brentwood, and they were just waiting for the perfect opportunity. And they were both Nichiren Buddhists, and what I was about to say was David is still a Nichiren Buddhist. He still chants, and I've tried to catch him chanting in the courtroom. He chants under his breath. This is what he does when he commits all of his crimes. He's chanting the words that Nichiren Buddhists chant. And if you want to look that up, because I can't chant them, because they don't do the same thing for me as they do for other people. Okay, it is the most powerful, empowering chant you can ever chant. It's the most profound spiritual practice in existence. Go to sgi.org to find out more, or sgi-usa.org. Or Buddhability.com. Those are websites that will give you more information about the words that Nichiren Buddhists chant. But yeah, I've been trying to look at Bryan Kohberger, see if he's chanting under his breath. I notice he gets really tense, and he grits his teeth, right? David did that a lot. He He's always been very high stress individual, very OCD, highly sensitive, hyper aware. That's David. And David looks really scared, doesn't he? His eyes look really scared these days. But back in the day, he was pretty confident. I'm just trying to see if I can. I'm trying to get I don't have the photo by itself, but here, let me put this up. This is amazing. Okay, this is a thumbnail I made. I was up all night making thumbnails. Look at this. Wait, you're not seeing it all. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I should make it smaller. Let's see, how can I do that? Yeah, let me, so you can see it. There we go. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I find this amazing. I mean, this is the only smiling photo. Oh, whoops. Okay, you're not seeing all of it. Let me see. Now you can see David better. I'm just trying to shrink it so you don't miss any of it. This is the only smiling picture I have of Bryan Kohberger, right? And look at that. Look at the resemblance. Right here. Disguise. This is the real face beneath this disguise, okay? I didn't realize until I put both images side by side how long David's nose is. I mean, David has a nice nose. I never... It just kind of blends into his face. It doesn't look large like Bryan Kohberger's nose. I mean, obviously, Bryan Kohberger's profile, he's got like, a bigger nose, but it's just as long as David's. I mean, they have very similar noses. It looks like the nostrils on this disguise come down a little more than David's nostrils. See, the center of his nose goes down further and his nostrils are further up. Looks like the nostrils come down more on the disguise. There's a big bump here, that David does not have. His is he has a really nice nose. You don't even notice it. It's just a nondescript kind of long nose, but I didn't realize how long it was. I didn't realize how perfectly they line up, these eyebrows. These eyebrows are a little powerful on this version of Bryan's face. I noticed his eyebrows have gotten a little less pronounced with time. Okay, you can't really see the color of the eyes. You can't see the similarity. I mean, how the color of the eyes match. You can't see it here in this photo, but I'll show you another comparison where you can really see it. Now, I've mentioned this in my last live stream. Look at how high David's ears are. And that was the thing I noticed about Bryan Kohberger, how low his ears are. And I believe that is like a telltale sign of a disguise, is how the ears are set. Typically, I've noticed disguises, the ears are set kind of low, and that might be so that the real ear can sit up here flat, and this is going around the real ear. See how high up his ear is, and they lower it. It almost looks like, when somebody gets a facelift, their ears kind of go down like that. It's because they're pulling it's like a mask when you're pulling a face back like that. But look at the lips and the smile. I mean, I had not compared their smile. Now their teeth, I don't know. There is a little similarity here. David's teeth are perfect. Now, I think these must be fake teeth. They're obviously, it's a similar mouth, and there's teeth that people wear. His teeth are very, very absolutely perfect, and Bryan Kohberger's teeth are not, and that would be something he would place some kind of tooth covering over his teeth for sure, because you can see the teeth are slightly different, but it's a similar mouth. I mean, it's like it looks like a Valentine. He kind of had a Valentine Day Valentine Day. Valentine, heart mouth. It was kind of like a heart. I mean, I guess all mouths are, but he just had a distinctive little indentation there. And he does too. And look at the shape. I mean, I can't get over it. Now, Bryan Kohberger lost a lot of, too much weight at a certain point because he was, he was high on heroin all the time and got hooked to heroin. And I do believe it was David who got, obviously, he got hooked to heroin, and that's how he kind of that was the explanation for his rapid weight loss, right? And yeah, he got a little thinner than David has been in the past. This picture of David is from 1994, after he committed the murders and buried the weapon on top of Mount Whitney. I believe this is the photo he snapped at the top of Mount Whitney after burying, the hatchet. It was a big hunting knife, and I saw it for myself. I didn't. It's a long story. But yes, I actually saw this knife. He actually pretended to, like he was going to attack me, just playing with me. I happened to open a bag and found his bloody shirt and jeans, white button-down shirt, jeans. And then he took the knife out and pretended he was going to attack me with it and had this grimace on his face. He was kidding around. It wasn't funny. And yes, that was in 1994. It was July that we went up to Mount Whitney together. And I remember when this happened, and I'm sure he arranged for me to handle his bag so I would open it up and discover he wanted me to be a witness, apparently. And then he posed like an MURDERER, And it just freaked me out at the time, and I couldn't think about it, and I just put it out of mind. I mean, I asked him, I said, did you do that? Did you kill, at the time I didn't even remember that I had gone out with Ron or even knew Ron. I just knew about the O.J. Simpson thing, and there was this link to David in my mind, and I didn't understand why, and I asked him, did you do that? Did you kill them? I just said that word. I hope the algorithm doesn't penalize me. Anyway, David is meticulous. He's planned all of this, and I guess he's been waiting for me to do what I'm doing right this moment. Okay, and he snapped this photo right here, thinking that, planning, with, knowing one day I'd be, I don't know what he thought, but I know he planned on this being his publicity photo or whatever. Okay, you can see this, the confidence in his face, and it's terrible. Okay, so let's just look at a different one. Okay, what's this? What's this one? Okay. This one's another one that's really interesting. Look at this. Let me get it so it fits the... Look at that. Look at that mouth. See... It's a similar, it's like David's. I mean, when he smiles, it kind of gets very thin on top, but it's the same lips. See, look at that. Similar. No, I mean, I can't get over. I really had no idea that David had such a long nose. I mean, I knew he had a long nose, but it just seems like Bryan's nose is so awkward looking and so overly large and long, and I don't know, it just doesn't, it stands out more. It doesn't blend into his face like it does into David's face. But look at their eyebrows. You can't really see the edge here of his eyebrow, but it's just, look at that. Look at the the structure of the face and the eyebrows, even the pattern of the eyebrows is completely the same. This is just darker hair. That's it. And you can see better the color of the eyes. I mean, this is a darker photo. I tried to, you know, there's only so much I can do with this photo. This is a very tiny little photo that I had to enlarge, and it's hard to, you know, it doesn't match the high quality of this photo, but look, you can see the eyes. They're completely the same. These are the same eyes. This is David. I mean, that's how I knew it was him when I looked at his eyes. Even, you know, the lines. He's thinner here than he was here, of course, you know. Okay, let's look at a different one. Just trying to see which one. I can't really see them very well. What is this? Okay, here's the eyes. Get this smaller. Yeah, you can see them. See, this is not as clear a photo up here of David, but you can see the pattern. Look at the pattern of the eyebrows. Look at that. See, and the structure, you know, the brow, you know, very similar. He's smiling here, so his eyes are, you know, when you smile, your eyes kind of widen. They kind of close a little bit. And here he's really concerned. He's very scared. He's very serious, right? Here he's like, he has no care in the world. He just achieved, you know, something he, you know, unfortunately was so proud of. You know, his confidence is really high here. Here he's very scared. And he, you know, finally he's woken up. You know, he's more enlightened now than he was in 1994. See, in 1994, he was just on top of the world. He just thought he was great. Like, he had achieved what he had chanted to achieve. And here he's more enlightened. He's more awake. The truth has set in. And good. You know, that's enlightenment, not that false confidence of a devil, you know. That's not enlightenment. All right, well, let's see what else we got here. I got a couple more. I just want to, let's see, what is that? That's the other one. Oh wait, this one's another one. Look, here we go. Let's get this. Okay, see, yeah, what a difference 29 years makes, right? Or, well, it was last year, it was like 28 years, right? Look at that. This is when he was brought in, and he looks doubly serious. This is the photo that really, to me at the time, I could see David in this photo, and you can see. I mean, he's doubly serious. He's serious here, okay? And this is the look of enlightenment here. This is devil, you know, delusional devil right here, right? See the difference? There's a peace in his eyes. He's realizing the truth, and I'm proud of him. But yeah, I want to see him separated from society for the rest of his life. I know Devil Dave. I used to call him. He used to hate it too, because, you know, he's David. He's not Dave. He's David. He used to always hate it when people called him Dave in the old days, you know. His name was David, you know. And so I'd always call him Devil Dave, you know. I'd make him laugh, you know, because, I mean, it's that, you know, whenever he showed that side of him, I'd call him Devil Dave. You know, that's what this guy is right here. Devil Dave, right here. But see, look at, he's come a long way. Like, this was a moment of truth for him. You can see that. Now, I'm not saying that he is totally enlightened. See, okay, this is important for people to understand. Nichiren Buddhism is the only philosophy that teaches that even devils can become enlightened. Okay, there's no other religion, practice, philosophy in existence that claims that. Even devils, see here, Devil Dave, can become enlightened. See, that's the look of enlightenment right here. That peace and serenity in his eyes, like his, he's facing the truth. That was the first mugshot we saw of him. This was a moment, though. I know, I'm not claiming he's some enlightened being on earth here. Certainly not. But even devils can become enlightened. He's waking up, is what I'm trying to point out here. He's waking up. I know it's not every moment. He's trying to get away with this. He's trying to save his own life. I don't see him standing up in court and apologizing to the victims' families, or saying, I am guilty and give me my sentence now. And I humbly apologize. No, I don't see him doing that. He's withholding even his alibi, which he doesn't have. He doesn't have an alibi because he was in that white Elantra making all those passes, and until the perfect moment. He was chanting the whole time, waiting for the perfect moment. And I do believe November 13th was somehow special to him. I believe, I think that guy, what was that? Some guy wrote this, what is it called? Manifesto. I do believe that I don't remember the guy's name right now. I haven't read the manifesto, but I've heard about it. I've glanced at it. Haven't read the whole thing, but I do believe he's very, he does, everything means something. Everything that David does is he makes it profound. He's very meticulous. He's very calculated. He plans meticulously. So yes, November 13th meant something very important to David. He wanted to commit the crime on that day, and he was chanting for it to all come together, kind of like it did in 1994. But this time, he's been chanting too many years. I mean, he's been chanting since 1975. And next year, 2 more years. So not next year, but the following year, 2025, will be how many years? 50 years? Is that right? Yeah, 50 years. He turns 70 in February 11th, which is also Jose Toda's birthday, by the way. That's the second president of the Soka Gakkai, which is what SGI, the SG and SGI stands for. And, yeah. All right, let's see. Is there anything? There are some other photos here. Other thumbnails that I created. I'm just trying to find, what's this? Okay, this is just him by himself. Okay, we're going to get rid of that. What's this one? These are his eyes. Yeah. Enlightenment. Devil. Delusional devil. Right here. Enlightenment. He's awake. Eyes wide open. I have a podcast by that name. And the reason why did I name the podcast that? Because a very prominent member of the SGI is the actress Vanessa Shaw, and she and my cousin Tom Cruise, who I was married to in 1975, the year I met her father, Larry, the doctor of delusion. They starred together. Well, actually, Tom and Nicole Kidman starred in that movie, and she was a co-star playing the prostitute. I co-wrote that movie and co-produced it. Stanley Kubrick. I think it's Dowdy. Daddy. And you know, when I speak of Daddy, he's my genetic father many, many, many times over. He's like more my father than anyone else, with the exception of one other individual, which I won't go into right now, and that's Clint Eastwood. But, you know, I have no access to him, but he was the one who raised me early, you know, from birth until he was taken away from me at age 5. I was almost 6 in 1971, you know, in September. Well, we'll say the summer, when my family moved to Lexington, Massachusetts. So my father, Dennis Wayne Elliott, the Zodiac killer, could attend Harvard Business School. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, Bryan wearing a suit. This is definitely David. He wears ties just like this. And yeah, he looks just like David in a suit. And I'm sure that's why. I mean, that's part of why I'm sure he wants to rectify his public image. But, you know, he does resemble David quite a bit. David is a professional. You know, he wears suits on occasion, you know. And, yeah, Bryan Kohberger cleans up quite a bit like David does. You know, he looks very similar to him. I mean, he's just got darker hair. His skin is not as translucent and pale. And of course, you know, David's 69. I'm sure he, you know, look at how plastic his skin looks. Have you ever noticed how smooth it is? He's 28 years. He's supposed to be 28 going on 29. He's gone through a lot of stress in the last year. Look how plastic his skin looks. I mean, I just don't think his skin should be so plastic looking and smooth for a 28-year-old. I mean, if he was like 21, maybe. I don't know, going on 20, well, no, he's not going on 29. He has a few, like at least 6 months, right? Well, 5 months, right? We're in July. That's really 4 months. He's going on 29. He was a fetus at the time of the murders in 1994. He wasn't even born yet. And so why would Bryan's DNA be at the O.J. Simpson crime scene from 1994, right? That's how they got his DNA, matched it up, and you know, and of course my DNA was at the same crime scene in Nicole Brown Simpson's hair, and they had already identified mine, but there was unidentified DNA there, and it matched up with Bryan Kohberger. So why would it match up with Bryan Kohberger and be my genetic father if Bryan Kohberger wasn't even born in November of, it wasn't even born in June, you know, June 12th, 1994 was the date of the murder. So, you know, if he wasn't even born, how could his DNA be at that crime scene and be in existence to be my genetic father? I ask you that. All right, let's see. What else do I have for you? I don't think I have any. What's this? Oh, this is interesting. Look at this. Wait, okay. I don't know if you got to see. Wait, I didn't shrink this up for you so you could see it better. There, that's what I was. See, delusional devil right here. Enlightenment. Okay, eyes wide open, awake, alert. Right? He looks a little scared, but you know, that is enlightenment. Like, oh, waking up, realizing what the truth is. Delusional devil right here. Okay, now this is a child. I think, I'm trying to remember. I think David was 11 in this photo. But I thought, when I saw this angle or this photo of Bryan, it reminded me of this photo. See, look at how similar they look. I mean, you know, one is blonde and 11 years old, and the other is a mature man, darker hair. But don't you see the similarity? I mean, even the ears, even though, you know, the ears are different, but there's a similarity. You see that? I thought that was very interesting. You know, his hair was curlier. Well, David cuts his hair so well. He keeps his hair like Bryan, the way Bryan has it now. That's the way David wears his hair. And yeah, I've never really seen it long or anything. I guess when he grows it out, it's curlier, like Bryan's. Only Bryan's is darker. All right, let's see what else. That's the one you've seen. That was the. This is the thumbnail I made for this live stream. Isn't that really something? All right, let's see. Yeah, there it is. And there's a closer view. All right, I'm just trying to get everything that I have. What's that? That's him. Get rid of that. Yeah, I don't know what this mole is. He's really trying to look. I mean, who develops a mole in jail in the I mean, it's over the last how many months since we've seen him in court. He didn't have this mole just like, I don't know, a couple months ago, was it, that we last saw him in court? He just all of a sudden developed a mole. What's that? I don't know. I just thought that was odd. I don't know, maybe it's a pimple. Or maybe he's been poking himself there, you know. David, he does stuff like, I mean, he's just obsessed with, I guess, keeping his cover. I don't know. Don't ask me. But okay, I guess those are all the photos that I wanted to share. So that's really all that I guess that's all I wanted to say. I feel like live streaming it, you know, being live is kind of important. Let's just see. I don't see anything going on here. Okay. Yeah, that's really it. I feel like it's really important for me to live stream this. And from here, going forward, I'm probably going to make some videos that are edited and scripted, you know. But I felt like I needed to just do it live, unedited, so you could get it straight from me right here, right now. And I really have nothing more to say about everything. I've been on for a while. It's going on 45 minutes, isn't it? I don't know that anyone is watching. I just was looking at the YouTube. I don't think there's anybody watching. I can't see if they are. I'm still really, as you know, I'm still kind of new at this, and I don't know how to check comments or anything. I'm trying to get it together, but I figured out everything pretty well, I think, considering I'm not used to doing this. I've never done it before. So I hope you enjoyed what I presented, kind of haphazardly, sorry, but I hope that it gives you a little more information about what might be going on. One thing I want to point out, I'm going to bring up this Idaho court page here. Let me shrink this up a little bit. Let's see. I don't want it this small. Well, I guess it's okay if it's this small. This is it. Notice of hearing. Order staying time. There's one that's... where is it? It should be right here. Oh, here it is. Order clarifying meeting. Okay, that happened. The order clarifying meaning it was about the gag order. The gag order doesn't apply to me. What I'm doing is disclosing top secret information. And I'm the only person who is permitted to do this. I'm legally, it is my legal right to speak these truths, which are classified. Because, I mean, that's the deal. That's the contract. I don't know. That's the legal situation. I have always had the legal right to speak freely about these top secret facts and events. And I'm about to be declassified. You know, I really don't think it would be a good time in the middle of the trial to be declassified. On my birthday, you know, my 58th birthday is happening October 21st. That's smack dab in the middle of the trial as it stands right now. And, you know, I just feel like the judge used this word clarifying with me in mind. Everybody's been waiting for me to come forward because nobody can speak these truths. The police, the FBI, they can't disclose this stuff to the general public. They can't even present it at trial. Everything's sealed. We have this gag order because there's so much classified information related to this. David, who is Bryan, has a security clearance, and that's why he has acts. You know, he obviously, you know, he's a hitman for the CIA, and like my father was, Dennis Wayne Elliott, and you know, who was the Zodiac killer, and you know, he has access to so many resources, and anyway. But yes, I am legally allowed to do what I'm doing right here. Okay. And they're waiting for me to do it so they can do it. I mean, I have to rip this open because it can't wait any longer. One of my genetic fathers, and I know some people in the audience might not like this or believe it. One of my genetic fathers is Donald J. Trump. And Donald J. Trump thinks, you know, I was born queen, okay? I survived the impossible, and I'm in the lineage. I was born to the right parents, you know, and everything. I'm, you know, Donald Trump was born in a different family altogether. Genetically speaking, he is my genetic father, but I have so many genetic fathers. He's just one of so many. And I was the one born in the right family at the right time. And he has nothing to do with my family. My grandmother, who is his genetic mother, making him my genetic brother also, she didn't even know him, okay? She'd never met him. She didn't even know him, okay? And my grandmother's adoptive daughter is my mother, Anne Marie Fields, formerly Elliott. You know, her maiden name was Flanagan. She just died on October 5th of last year. Unbeknownst to me, I had to find out by Googling her because nobody cared to inform me. And the same thing happened with my father, who died on Michael Jackson's birthday in 2020, August 29th. I don't think he would have picked Michael Jackson's birthday if, you know, because I have links to Michael Jackson, long story. I don't think he would have picked that day to die, you know, if what I claim isn't truly the case. Okay, but so the reason I bring up Trump is because next year is an election year. So we can't do this next year, even though in 1994, the last word was I'd have to wait 30 years to be declassified. And they made it clear it would be on my birthday because that's the most positive day to declassify me. They didn't want to do it on the anniversary of brutal murders, etc. It's my phone. Sorry. It's just another creditor calling. You know, I don't have any money and I can't afford to pay any of my creditors. I'm in dire straits when it comes to my finances. I need my life and my money now. I have a lot of money that is only mine, and I think in the United States of America, if money belongs to you, it's in your bank account and that you have personal access to. Other people shouldn't have access to your money while you don't. I'm cutting myself off. I'm sorry. All right. So that was my phone. Quack, quack, quack. Yeah, that's reminds me of Donald Duck, Trump. Yeah, just another creditor calling me. If I had my own money, I wouldn't have creditors calling me. All right, so I guess we're done here. The judge gave this document here indicates that the judge has given Bryan Kohberger 37 extra days, and it's something that Bryan Kohberger, I think, was requesting. I think it's the July 21st or the 20th. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard both dates. That the transcript of the grand jury will finally be available for him and his team to review. And then he has only if it's the 20th, 4 more days. If it's the 21st, 3 more days to come up with an alibi. Woo! So difficult, right? When you're guilty of a crime like this. And I believe this hearing that they're having on the, well, I guess it's going to be on the 18th of August. Yeah, I believe so. I could open it up. Let me open it up. Yes, it is the 18th at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. I believe it's so that Kohberger and his team can let the court know if they want to take those extra 37 days. Basically, the reason they're having it on the trial on October 2nd is because that's the speedy trial time period deadline, or approximately the deadline to have a speedy trial. And, everybody in the United States of America has the right to a speedy trial, but there's a certain expiration date, and but because the transcript for the grand jury proceedings have been so delayed, the judge has given Kohberger and his team 37 extra days if they'd like to take it. They're staying proceedings, for 37 days. If they want to push the trial out 37 more days, which would be until, I think that would be November 9th. And that's pretty close to his birthday, Bryan Kohberger's, isn't it? I don't know what his birthday is. It's around then. But that would be after my 58th birthday. Because my birthday is when they have always said they want to declassify me on my birthday. And it was not going to be possible being smack dab in the middle of this trial. So I think that somebody stalled in the delivery of this transcript so that the judge would give him 30, extra time, and the trial could be postponed. I hope Kohberger takes them up on the extra 37 days and postpones the trial until November 9th. So they can declassify me on my birthday. I thought it was going to be 9/11 maybe, but that's not a very happy day, is it? It's my day. I mean, I separated from my first husband on 9/11, 1988. I just stumbled upon something online where they say that there's somebody who's claiming that Madonna was replaced by a clone on 9/11, 1988. I thought that was so funny because, I have a lot of links to Madonna. I co-wrote all her biggest hits, and I was allowed to she's one of my alternate personas. When I was 8 years old, I was Madonna. I know that sounds really odd and weird, but I was. She's not me, but I was her. All right. Anyway, but yeah, 9/11, that's how and then of course we all know what happened on 9/11 when my cousin, George W. Bush, did that whole operation. It was It was a U.S. operation, not. It was not anyone. It was a CIA operation. It was not a foreign. It was not a foreign adversary. It wasn't Bin Laden, who I'm also related to, by the way. It's really. I'm a can of worms, okay? And this is why they've delayed declassifying me. I mean, there are so many things related to me. I mean, it will change life as we know it on Earth when I'm declassified. And there's so much money at stake, you know. I mean, I'm sorry, I keep doing this. I'm not keeping an eye on where I am in the frame here. Sorry. To declassify me is to bring in a new era on Earth. It will mean Kozen-Rufu, as Nichiren Buddhists call it, which is world peace, one person at a time. And I mean, I really think we're overdue for world peace, don't you? I mean, isn't that what you want? No, the devils don't want it. I mean, look, like this guy in 1994, delusional devil doesn't want it, even though he chants the words and that Nichiren Buddhists chant and is supposed to want world peace. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be all about. But a devil never wants world peace. He just knows when he chants these words, he gets everything he visualizes happens. But, you know, he was using, we call the scroll that Nichiren Buddhists chant to is called a Gohansan. It's like a graphic image of enlightenment of our lives. It's just like it's Chinese lettering. Actually, it's not in Chinese that anyone can read anymore. It's actually probably the language that predates Chinese. Actually, I know we don't talk about that in Nichiren Buddhism, but it's like a space language. It really is. And it's written in ancient language. And it graphically depicts our highest life state. And people, you know, Nichiren Buddhists chant the words I've spoken about, which you can research at sgi.org or sgi-usa.org or buddhability.com. They chant those words and they focus on this graphic depiction of their highest, of humans' highest potential, which is enlightenment in Nichiren Buddhism. It's Buddhahood, the highest life state, the highest world, the highest, your highest potential possible. And they fuse with that graphic depiction of their highest life potential, and amazing things unlock for you and happen for you. In my case, it's the reverse. I know it sounds really weird, but because those words that Nichiren Buddhists chant are it's my ancient name. I know this sounds so weird. You know, it's actually the words that Nichiren Buddhists chant. Nam is a term of endearment. It's a Sanskrit word that is a term of endearment, and they put that in front of what is it? It's a Sanskrit title of translated into Chinese and transliterated into Japanese phonetical sounds. It's complicated. And that sound, you know, what you end up pronouncing after all of that is my ancient name. And you put Nam, which is a term of endearment in the universe. It's Sanskrit, which is a very ancient language. You put Nam in front of that, and you're saying, I am devoted to. And it's the title of the Lotus Sutra, which was the Buddha's highest masterpiece, his life masterpiece that he intended. That is the only teaching. It's the only teaching of his that is totally complete. and independent of all his other teachings, because it's totally complete, and it's the only teaching that the Buddha intended to pass down to posterity. And I cry thinking about it. You know, there are all these other forms of Buddhism that claim that other teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha, which is Gautama, you know, the Buddha that everybody thinks of in India that lived about, 2,600 or so years ago. There's so many teachings that so many other forms, other kinds of Buddhists follow and insist on following and insist on propagating, and that is not what the original Buddha, who is Shakyamuni Buddha, ever intended. And it is a slander to him and his legacy for all these other forms of Buddhism, other sects, other, Buddhists to propagate anything else than what he intended. He says in this teaching, the Lotus Sutra, throw away all my other teachings. This is the only teaching you will ever need. Throw away everything else and follow this one teaching. This one teaching encompasses everything that I have ever intended to teach, and nothing else is required. He made this so clear in the Lotus Sutra. And still, all these people, teach all these other teachings of his that were intended for the garbage can. The reason he taught so many teachings was because there were so many audiences that he encountered that didn't understand what he needed to teach, and he had to teach them something else that was less than the truth, so to bring them to the next level so that they'd be able to grasp what he needed them to grasp. The truth is so difficult for people to understand and grasp, and that's why he took so much time to help people understand something a little closer to what is the whole truth. And then just a little closer, he was trying to bring everyone to a place where they could grasp the entire truth that is the Lotus Sutra. And clearly, he didn't exactly achieve his goal, because so many people misunderstood him and his teachings. So few were able to ever grasp the entire truth, which is the Lotus Sutra. Okay, so I didn't intend this to be about Buddhism, but it's part of the story of Bryan Kohberger and David Craig. It's part of why this happened in Idaho, and I know it's a tragedy. It's horrible. But the thing is, in Nichiren Buddhism, there is enlightenment in everything. Even in the darkest, most horrific tragedy you can imagine, there is enlightenment, there is truth. And it's the only teaching on earth that teaches this. It doesn't matter how bad your life is, how horrible things are. There is a way out. You are a Buddha in that horrific truth. There is Buddhahood there. And what that means is there is no one, this tragedy in Idaho is so horrible. What David did was so horrible. But even David, who did such a horrible thing, even David is a Buddha. And, in Christianity, we say, you do that, you're a devil, you're going to hell for eternity. Nichiren Buddhism says that's horrible, and David will have to face the consequences. And the law of cause and effect, which we are bound, which everybody in existence is bound to, the law of cause and effect is severe. I mean, God doesn't punish people. God allows the law, you know, he enforces the law. Let's just put it that way. He doesn't punish people. He enforces the law. And when you violate that law, you have to pay. Sorry. And yeah, I mean, you pay and you know, and then you move on, and you hopefully you make better causes and create a better existence, a better situation. And that's how Nichiren Buddhist works, you know. There's nobody who's all evil. There's no such human being who's all evil. Even Satan is a Buddha, was a Buddha. Everyone has Buddhahood. Everyone. Even Satan, for example. Even David, Bryan Kohberger. Even he is a Buddha. And yes, he will have to pay. Sorry. He will have to face the truth and face the effect of the horrific cause he made. But like all of us, right? We're all equal in front of the law of cause and effect. Anyone, you know, there's an effect for every cause you make, and you can't erase the effect. You can transform it. And, you know, through David and Bryan Kohberger, I get to teach you about Nichiren Buddhism. You see how somebody who's been chanting almost 50 years at this point, you see how his horrific cause is being elevated and transformed to help others right now as I talk about this and try to help people make sense of this horrific tragedy. You see? Anyway, I think right now is where I have to end this. You know, I will make other videos, and if you have questions, please, you know, please send them to me at the CEE in CIA. Okay, CEE are my initials, Clara Elizabeth Elliott, CEE. So it's the CEE, the C in CIA at gmail.com. Okay, that's my email. If you have questions, you want to talk to me privately, send them there. In the comments, put your questions. I will make videos to answer them. I will address them in my future videos. And I guess that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope. I didn't expect to go into all that I did right now. I didn't expect this to be so long. It's been a little over an hour now. Thank you so much for watching. I really, truly appreciate it. And until next time, peace. All right, so we're going out. Here we go. I'm trying to see. Okay, here we go.